bit of a interesting video today. I got a 2019 or older heater for my 22 Defender. The 22 Defender comes with a piece that I believe mounts up top here, so you lose the storage. And then it has a cup holder that goes here. And I've got longer legs, so I bang my knee on the newer heater. So I just bought this heater out of a 2019. It's relatively the same heater. There's some things you got to do to make it fit in the 22, but I'll show you what you need to do that. Also, another thing about the 22 or newer, or I guess it's 2020 or newer, you lose these cup holders. So that's why they give you the cup holder down on the heater. Instead, with this 19 heater, you get these, and you still get your defrost vents, but they're a little bit different style. So you just cut them out differently. And then there's your 4 vents in the front. And then there's floor vents down here by the driver's footwell. All this wiring is my wiring. I got signal kit and stuff on here. So I have that wiring cleaned up, but right now it's just all unzip tied, and it's kind of everywhere right now while I'm doing this heater. But so what you have to do to get this heater to work is you'll have to buy an extra line like this from your local dealer. For me, it was $28 Canadian, so it's very cheap considering it's an aluminum pipe. I went in there fully thinking I was spending $100 to $200 on it, but all your hookups in the front are the same. Just pay really close attention to what your outlet and inlet is, because they're different from the 19 to the 22. What I ended up doing, so these are the original 2 pipes here. This top one was actually down where I have the harness here now. This isn't clipped in yet, so it'll go over and clip in, but I just gotta move some stuff around. But this one was originally down here, so I ended up just moving it over and then on top, because that's how they are in the 19. I'll show you. Actually, my dad has a 2019, so this is the factory 2 on a 2019, and I was lucky I had this one to look at. But so the lower, this is wire loom with the harness in it. That goes in the lower slot, and then your new pipe will go on top of that. And so this panel's different. I'll show how you have to cut that out and everything, but everything else is pretty much the same. So one modification you'll have to do to make the heater work, this pipe that goes to the bottom of the reservoir is originally on a 22. It is a 3/4 inch pipe. On the 19 or older, it is this is a 1/2 inch. So this is what I have. I just have a 1/2 inch. I need to get an adapter yet, so I'll get an adapter, and then I'll go to the 3/4, and that'll be what hooks straight to the reservoir. And then down here, you'll have to find one of those thermostats that's buried in there. I don't even know if you'll see it. You can kind of see it there, way at the front. You'll have to find one of those, because those come off a 19. And otherwise, everything else is the same. You gotta just add that one pipe to get your 3rd pipe. And then just go straight to the motor there, where I have that hose clamp. It's a definitely a tricky job. It took me and my dad both pushing and pulling on hoses to try and get them to all fit, but got it in there. They fit pretty well in there. Bit tight, but like it'll work. So, and then the vents you can just look up. They're fairly easy to run. What I ended up doing is you got to take these panels off, and there's a circle cutout. And on these, they're both closed off. On the 19, one is open, one is closed. All I did is take an X-Acto knife or utility knife, cut the end out, and then that way you can get your arm in there. And I got a pretty big arm. And I could get my arm in there to line up these vents and everything. And then same thing here, all these cutting, I just did with a utility knife. So you can definitely make it work. It is a lot of maybe hair pulling, thinking to try and get it to work, but I really wanted this heater over the 22 heater, so I got it done. I'll get that panel cut out, I'll get that in there. I have to pull the heater back out and attach one more hose, which is fairly simple, but I'll get a video of that. But also I want to show, I finished my doors. Also want to show that I finished my doors. They are, all I did was I clamped, this is just, I think it was 1/8 or maybe 1/4 flat bar. I have a weather seal, and then I just clamped the window in there. They're really dirty right now. It's colder out, but there's still no snow on the road, so it's pretty dusty in the cab, especially with no air moving. And then same thing down here. I doubled backside and like one on the front, one on the back. And then I have this square tube here from that last side-by-side video I made. It's kind of hard to see, it's dirty, but square tube. And I just put 2 self-tappers in here, ran the flat bar, cut it on a 45, welded it here, ran it down, and then I have a bolt here for the door. It's an original bolt. I drilled that out, put this is an original Can-Am, I think it's a T25 or T27 Torx. And then I just drilled these 2 holes through the back plate and the plastic, and then sandwiched it together. And this is an old tire tube that I just have so that it keeps the snow and air and like wind from getting in and making it colder. And I did the same on the back of the door, just drilled and put a bar on. So that's pretty much finished product. The only thing I'm going to do now is add a weather seal to the back side of here, just to get a little better seal out of it. But that's pretty much my finished product for the winter. So I already cut this kick panel, but if you look very closely there, you'll see that line. It actually has a line on there. I didn't cut it exactly on the line, but I was using this air body tool. Cuts pretty damn good. It's actually, I think it might be made for cutting metal, but it cuts plastic great. I'll just take and trim up the edge with the utility knife, but that's the piece I cut out. It was already there, so I'll cut that and I'll try that first. And so there's it on the machine. I didn't end up touching up the corner of the cut because it's going to be behind the heater once I put the bottom shield on. So I'm not really the type of guy that's going to care about something I can't see. But yeah, you just trim that piece out, and must be the same hookup as the heater for the newer side-by-sides as this heater is. So got that kick panel all screwed in. I had to cut that piece off too, I forgot to mention. It's just maybe a support or something, it doesn't matter anyway. What I might end up doing is putting a self-tapper through this metal plate here and into that. There's nothing behind there that's gonna hit, so I think I'll be okay to do that. I'll see once I get it on there how wiggly it is, but that's how it looks anyway. It's all in there, all the screws are in, and it looks actually pretty decent. One more thing I'll add, this 2-wire, just power and ground. I ran it up to your 2, there's your ground, power's on that side, has a cover on it, but run it up to there. All it is just a post for its accessory power, so that way it won't be running if your machine's not on, or your key's not on at least. You can run it with the key on. Don't know why you really would, but yeah, that's my mess of wiring there. Got to get it all zip tied up and cleaned up here, but just still putting the heater in, and just figured I'd show that in case anyone was confused on what to do with that. Okay, here's it completely installed. I didn't end up putting a screw down there. It's not going nowhere. It's tight with just those 2 top brackets, so I'm just gonna leave it that way, and all I gotta do is put that bottom panel on, which is very self-explanatory, so I'm not gonna film that at all. Yeah, pretty much follow those steps, and if you want to put a 2019 heater and a 22 Defender, that'll work. Couldn't find any videos like that while I was trying to do this, so just a good thing to know.